So right behind me, that open door there is what we're calling the Thorndale Community Hub and Youth Clubhouse. So I'm just before we go in there, I want to explain a little bit about why we have this space and what we plan to do with it. So a little bit of history. The Youth Clubhouse was a vision of youth that live here in Thorndale. So about a year and a half ago, I Love Thorndale was approached by the London Community Foundation and RBC Bank. They had a grant available to support youth initiatives, youth projects, youth activities, and they knew that we were a very active community and approached us to ask if we could engage some youth in our community to determine what they'd like to see. So basically what happened is we invited youth from Thorndale to come and have a conversation with us and walk around, talk about what happens in Thorndale now, as well as what they'd like to see in the future. And so I think that it was agreed that they wanted to see more youth opportunities, more activities. There wasn't a lot for them to do, so they referenced the skate park as somewhere that they go when the weather is nice. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that was youth-friendly, youth-focused. So they identified that they hang around outside of Sassy's and other places, but are looking for a place to go, a place to meet each other, to engage in activities, and so they identified having a space for themselves as the priority. So they went ahead, so there was a group of youth that went ahead and applied for the grant. They secured $15,000 from London Community Foundation and RBC Bank at that time to establish what they called as the Youth Clubhouse. Initially, the idea was that we would work and have it located at the community center. However, that hasn't been able to be the case. The community center has other uses, and so we started to look at what we could do to create this youth-friendly space in another location. So approached a few different places. Nick Massey at the dental center has actually been hosting meetings of the Youth of Thorndale group. So that's an actual leadership group that has spun out of this work. So there is a group of youth that meet every week on Tuesdays at 4:30, and we have been working and meeting out of the Thorndale Dental Center. We actually talked to Nick about converting his basement into the Youth Clubhouse. There was some challenges with that, which led us to look into other opportunities and other spaces, brought us to this space. Conversation with Tim. Tim was very excited about the opportunity to host the youth here, to work with us to create a space, and so here we are today. So now we're entering the Thorndale Community Hub and Youth Clubhouse. So this space, I wish that I had something to share with you, and maybe I will. When we first came in for a tour, it was a space that had, I'm sure you can see, wood paneling. Across here, there was a wall that's been taken down since. So it was two office spaces and then this open area. The wall sort of behind was had some old wallpaper. So it was, the space looked old, looked like it needed an update, and since we moved in the direction of establishing the clubhouse and hub here, Kim Cerrone actually has taken the lead working with the youth to renovate this space. So taking this wall down, painting the entire room, including the trim, doing all of this work on the wall. So they removed all of the wallpaper and then made this wall, this older wall, look a lot better, a lot cleaner, a lot more modern. And she's actually been working with a variety of other volunteers and community members who have donated a lot of different things and a little bit of money to bring some of this furniture and this equipment into the space. So the vision of the youth, or the vision that the youth had, was to create a lounge space, a space where they could hang out, where they could meet each other, where they could engage with different activities. Their priorities were a TV gaming system, so we actually have a Wii now, we have a Xbox, and I believe we may even have a PlayStation. So we have this set up. We have a nice, obviously, sectional here. We have a few beanbag chairs that can be moved around in order to create more of a seating space. We also have some folding chairs. So we have lots of flexibility in seating for this lounge and gaming area. And then the other priority was pool table. So the youth felt that they wanted to be able to play pool. And so this pool table was donated by a resident actually of London who approached the Boys and Girls Club and was interested in offering this as a donation. So this was donated and he actually had it refelted for this purpose. So this was established, and then moving into here, this foosball table was donated by the Boys and Girls Club. This air hockey table has been purchased new and was a donation, was purchased with a donation from Kim Sarone's mother-in-law. So thank you for that. Excited to have an air hockey table. So this is obviously a nice activity space, a place where a variety of different young people can spend time in doing a variety of different things. And then if you come in here, this is a office space. So this office space is a space that will be used by the Boys and Girls Club. So the Boys and Girls Club will be the organization that oversees the youth clubhouse. So specifically the youth drop-in times. I Love Thorndale has rented this space, or I Love Community has rented this space, and we're going to use it for a variety of purposes, but the youth clubhouse requires additional support. So we hope to open this space a few times a week for youth to come and drop in, as well as to provide opportunities for youth to engage in activities in clubs. So we as an organization aren't in the position of being able to sustain that type of operation. And the Boys and Girls Club has been working in Thorndale for a few years now. They're very experienced in offering youth programs, have the policies and have the infrastructure to do so. And so we've partnered with the Boys and Girls Club. They will be hiring the staff and they will support the youth clubhouse specifically. So this is where their staff will be. And this is also a nice quiet spot for youth who would like to, play a board game. So we've got a variety of board games that have been donated. Maybe just read a book, do some coloring, whatever it is that they want to do, they can do in this sort of quiet space. So in addition to all of the great things that we're going to do with youth, for youth, so that's an important, I think, piece to share, is that the youth of Thorndale will be a part of and have been a part of establishing this space, as well as creating a schedule of activities. They're going to be involved with the Boys and Girls Club in ensuring that whatever we do here is relevant to youth in Thorndale. So that will be something that we really put an emphasis on. This space is primarily going to be used for youth. However, in addition to that, we are hoping to use the space for community members who would like to use it for lots of different purposes. So we see the potential of family board game nights. We see the potential of a book club meeting here. We see leagues where they play pool or, maybe eventually some darts. We have, lots of capacity for this to be a lounge space that could be used by community members. So we are working on what that's going to look like, and we are going to be reaching out to community members like you to say, how can you help us to envision what this space could be used for our community. So this is really about creating community for both youth and for residents in Thorndale. So really excited about that. We see this as a great complement to the new community center that has a great gym space and hall space and some meeting rooms. This is a lounge space. You can see it's very different than what you would be doing maybe at the community center. This is much more of a sort of social, lower key, less physical focused activity space. So we would love to hear from you about what you'd like to see happen here and work with you to create those opportunities.